Let me go. There's still time to end this madness. Oh,
They're all cowards, traitors, incompetent fools. They're the reason we're in this mess. Incapable of following even the simplest orders, of doing what I tell them to. None of them ever understood the greatness, the beauty of the vision I shared with them. Imbeciles! You again.
There's no place you can run, General. It's time to surrender.
she's right. It's over.
You think I'm gonna surrender to the savage and her mob? I had sooner die by my own hand.
Really?
No! Don't!
How awful.
May the earth carry you always, my friends! Oh no! I'm so sorry. We are going to miss you, my friend.
From another world, the doubt, the onward, beyond the land of my sacred home, my heart, my soul, my body. My
My dear friend, I understand your need to know more about the events that took place in this part of the mainland. But you should know that reporting on the current situation is not easy. The upheavals of recent months have been such that the balance of power in Kakan has been altered. We came close to disaster. General Kurnaz might well have succeeded in creating the empire he dreamed of, if he hadn't been defeated by that party I've already told you of, and if he hadn't committed the folly of antagonizing the coin guard who tracked his forces to the ruins where he had taken refuge. The imperialist movement, whose corruption had reached the highest spheres, seems to have died out with him. However, among the people, many are those who mourn his death. He flattered their nationalistic pride. We'll have to remain highly vigilant with regard to them. If they turn him into a martyr for their cause, we risk a resurgence of their deadly ideology and the rising of a new general. Fortunately, the new Sopharch of Elima, a certain Helis, seems to be both incorruptible and a supporter of a more benevolent alliance. My spies are still looking for Zeren, who, as I've already told you in my letters, disappeared after the battle. None of my men managed to get their hands on her. We must hope that she doesn't plan on joining her husband's supporters. As for the scientists who were trying to create those creatures of war for the general, they were hunted down by the guard. I know you wanted us to catch some of them alive, to put them to work for us. I admit their research could have been useful, despite their ideology, which is resolutely opposed to our own. But I doubt I'll be able to. The superintendent is pursuing them with unexpected rigor. The situation in the Dutan Empire, our main ally in the region, has also been impacted by all these events. The death of General Kurnaz allowed them to lighten the defense of the Eastern Front along the border with the Alliance. This allowed the Emperor to concentrate on the civil war that was ravaging his country, and in particular on the elimination of the Communist heretics. General Eisenach, having been convicted of treason, his men fell into line, thus stabilizing the Imperial Army. The merchant congregation, which I am watching very closely as you know, has also undergone some changes. The power of the Dorsets seems to be at its peak, the De Vesps having obviously been weakened by a few scandals. According to my information, they even recovered a relic from the Astrian era that Prince Alexander always dreamed of possessing, allowing them to calm his political ardor. It will become urgent for us to court this family if we want to keep some influence in the region. I know that you have a keen interest in the affairs of the Nords, so I will say a few words about them here. Admiral Cabral is in Tier 4D, so Admiral Basileus, with whom we have already done business, is in charge of the guild. After the general's stunt forced him to distance himself from the Alliance, I believe he will be quite receptive to our proposals. As you may remember, one of his lieutenants was to furnish us with a map of a new island. We recently recovered it. Of course, we should find a way to convince the Nords to take us there. But owning this new map will give us a significant advantage over other nations. But let's get back to the party I mentioned previously, and which so piqued your curiosity. As already mentioned in my letters, I've met the various members on several occasions in recent months. Our agent Fausta introduced them to me. She was our biggest source of information on the events I previously mentioned. As you may remember, I had given her orders to assassinate the general, if the opportunity presented itself. Her failure cost her. She was imprisoned, but fortunately was freed by her friends. Having obtained a pardon from the abbot who banished her, I believe that she'll henceforth be able to return to her family with her head held high. Among the members of the party were 2 Tirfdians. One of them is called Nilan. He seems to have become the leader of a kind of community of refugees. He is said to work jointly with the Sophark Elise to restore the lands of the Alliance's hinterland. The process they use is not yet known to us, but rest assured that I am doing everything to find out. I think I have already told you that Prince Alexander's niece, Sybil de Vespe, was also in the party. This intriguing young woman is a tour de force. She's had her cousin, the sinister Octave de Vespe, who murdered her parents, exiled. I encouraged her to apply for her former position as legate with us in Ptolemy. However, she has refused for the moment. It seems that she has not yet grown tired of leading an adventurous life. The party also counted the captain of the Constantia, Alvida, the daughter of Admiral Barcelos himself. Unfortunately, she was one of the many victims of the attack on the catacombs where General Kurnaz was hiding, and she was returned to the sea, according to the tradition of her island. Among this strange party was also a citizen of the Teuton Empire called Ludwig. It didn't take long for us to discover that he was a smuggler and wanted for various crimes and misdemeanors. General Eisenach renounced his principles to the point of allying himself with a communist, just to capture him. Having revealed the whole affair, the Emperor forgave him on the condition that he give up his activities, which he did, to our knowledge. He still travels, but now legally. You may remember that there was also a member of the Coin Guard among them, a certain Till who had been close to General Kurnaz. He is said to have resumed his position as captain, but the rumors don't shed a good light upon him. He is said to have turned to alcohol. Finally, there was this woman of a certain age, Safia, a cartographer from the Bridge Alliance. She is said to have gone back to Tier-Fudi in search of one of her friends, but I don't know more. It is likely that she'll eventually die there. The forests on that island are not the best place for an elderly woman. Finally, of course, there remains the one who was the soul of the party, the other Tier-Fudian, who some called Vrutengare, thanks to whom the Tier-Fudians escaped a smallpox epidemic orchestrated by Kurnaz that would have had catastrophic consequences, and who, of course, led the final assault on the general in the catacombs. She is said to have been seen traveling through the south of the continent in the company of her beloved Ludwig, helping any islanders and refugees they meet. But don't worry, I make sure to always keep an eye on her. Someone whose acts have had such an impact won't disappear into nothingness. There you have it. I think that I have summarized the fallout from the events that you asked about. Unfortunately, I can't answer your questions about the situation on Tier-Fudi yet. I'm still waiting for a report from my agents there. All I know to date is that several highly placed people from the congregation are involved.